My mother-in-law locked me in a bathroom during labor at her daughter's wedding to keep me from stealing the spotlight. Hours later, I woke up in the hospital. Hey everyone, 2 weeks ago, my husband Rick, 32, and I welcomed our first child, a daughter named May. We're overjoyed, but we're still adjusting to parenthood with almost no help, thanks to a traumatic incident that happened the day May was born. It's one of the most horrifying experiences of my life, and even the joy of May's arrival can't erase the paralyzing fear I felt. I genuinely think I could have died if Rick hadn't found me in time. Rick has 2 younger sisters, Anna, 28, and Emma, 24. I get along great with both, no bad blood at all. We're not super close since we're all busy with our careers and don't see each other often. Emma lives in another city, but we keep in touch with calls or texts. Then there's Rick's mom, Rachel, 53. Unlike Anna and Emma, Rachel and I don't get along. It's not just me, she's got issues with everyone. Rachel's the definition of a controlling, dramatic nightmare who needs everything to go her way. Her 3 kids, raised by her alone after their dad left, usually bend to her whims to keep the peace. If anyone dares want something different, she flips out, anything from whining to full-on crying tantrums. She's exhausting, so I keep my distance. Rick gets it, he knows his mom's difficult and lets me handle her how I want. I respect his feelings for her despite her controlling nature and don't interfere. She doesn't like me much, but she stays out of my life, which works for everyone. That is, until a few days ago when Rachel took things way too far. I don't think I'll ever forgive her. The day I gave birth was Anna's wedding day. It was a beautiful ceremony, and her husband, John, is Rick's good friend. John proposed a year ago, and Anna asked me to be a bridesmaid. I agreed, but when Rick and I found out I was pregnant, I had to back out, knowing I couldn't handle it. This was about 6 months after the proposal, when I was 3 months pregnant. I was nervous to tell Anna, worried it'd ruin our relationship, but to my relief, she was thrilled about the pregnancy. She even forgot about her wedding for a moment, saying, "Just focus on staying healthy." She considered moving the wedding date so I wouldn't miss it if May came early, but ultimately kept it as planned for various reasons. Honestly, she shouldn't have had to change it. Emma stepped in as maid of honor, and since both sisters were busy with wedding prep, I tried not to bother them during my rough pregnancy. Still, they checked in, visited, and helped a ton. I feel a little guilty for not supporting Anna more on her big day when she was so supportive of me. The only person upset about the situation was Rachel. I think she was annoyed I backed out as a bridesmaid, which caused some wedding planning hiccups. It's the only explanation that makes sense, and I could understand her frustration. But her hostility toward me continued even after Anna was totally fine with my decision. It was weird, but I chalked it up to pregnancy hormones and her stress over the wedding. I ignored her as much as I could, and things were mostly okay until the wedding day, when everything spiraled out of control. 2 weeks ago, I was due to give birth any day. My feet were crazy swollen, my belly was huge, and I felt like I might pass out. Still, I wanted to go to Anna's wedding because she wanted me there. I checked with her beforehand, explaining that a heavily pregnant woman might draw attention, and I didn't want to steal her spotlight. Anna was genuinely upset I'd even think that, saying she didn't care about attention or gossip, she just wanted her family there for her special day. She insisted I come and not worry about drama. I knew she meant it, and is not one to sugarcoat. If she didn't want me there, she'd say so. So, despite feeling awful, I went to support her. I won't lie, some guests whispered behind my back, but I ignored them, knowing Anna was happy I was there. That's all that mattered. Rachel barely spoke to me and gave me side-eye all day, but I was too miserable to care about her passive-aggressive nonsense. I wasn't going to engage. Then came the moment that traumatized me and shocked everyone. Right before the ceremony, I started feeling worse. I'd already seen Anna, so I went upstairs to rest, hoping it'd help. I didn't notice Rachel following me. I was hot and dizzy, so I ducked into a bathroom. Then my water broke, a total flood. I panicked. May picked the worst time to arrive. I was a mess, doubled over in pain, when I saw Rachel. I told her to grab my phone and call Rick immediately, we needed to get to the hospital. She helped me sit in the bathroom and took my phone. Then she lost it. She said she'd only call Rick an hour after the ceremony because she didn't want me stealing Anna's attention. I asked if she was freaking insane and said I couldn't wait that long. I tried to grab my phone, but she locked me in the bathroom and took it with her. There I was, pregnant, in labor, trapped in a bathroom, sitting on a toilet with no phone or husband. I don't know how I didn't have a full-blown panic attack, thank God, because I can't imagine what would have happened. I managed to get up, pounded on the door, and screamed until I lost my voice, but the bathrooms were on the second floor, and everyone was downstairs at the ceremony. No one heard me. I genuinely thought I was going to die and take my baby with me. I was exhausted, soaked, sweating like crazy, and couldn't speak anymore. That's the last thing I remember before passing out from exhaustion. I woke up hours later in the hospital with Rick crying beside me. It took a moment to realize where I was. Seeing Rick in tears, I feared the worst, remembering Rachel locking me in and my screams. I thought May didn't make it. When Rick saw I was awake, he sighed in relief and sobbed in my arms. I was confused, my heart sinking, until a nurse walked in with a baby girl. I was so relieved, I almost slapped Rick for scaring me, but he said he didn't mean to. He was terrified when he found me unconscious in the bathroom. Holding May for the first time was unforgettable. I don't think anything in life will ever top that moment. Rick didn't share details then, and I'm grateful. I couldn't handle it. I heard noise outside and asked what it was. He said Rachel was there, wanting to see May. I told him everything, how she locked me in, endangering our daughter for no reason. I said she'd never come near May, ever. For me, she was dead. Rick said he already knew. Rachel confessed when he found me in that state. I told him her confession didn't mean I'd forgive her. He laughed and said she was dead to him too, and he planned to press charges for endangering me and May. He promised to handle it legally and ensure she faced consequences. Hearing that lifted a weight off my shoulders. I know he loves his mom, they all do, but after she risked my life and our daughters, I wasn't budging. If he'd chosen her over me, our marriage would have been over. I half expected him to side with her, given how much she sacrificed raising them, but I'm not complaining that he stood by me so fiercely. If anything, I love him even more now. I asked about the wedding, and he said it went well. Anna and Emma were waiting to visit. I worried Anna might be upset, but Rick laughed, saying I had nothing to worry about. Anna was beaming, saying her whole family was there, and May's birth was the best gift she could have gotten. I teared up and asked him to call them. Soon, Anna, Emma, and John were in my room. Anna and John still in their wedding outfits. Anna said she wouldn't miss a chance to take wedding photos with her niece. I sobbed, it was so touching. I apologized to Anna for ruining her day, but she hugged me, saying I made it special. I told her about Rachel's behavior since we announced the pregnancy, and Anna said my only mistake was not telling them sooner. They could have stopped the drama. Emma chimed in, saying no drama mattered as long as I was safe. I'm crying writing this because that's when I realized they see me as real family, not just their brother's wife. Anna's one of the best people I know, confident, happy, self-sufficient. I can't fathom how Rachel's their mom. It's like they looked at her and decided to be the opposite. It's weird, but I don't care. Rachel was still outside, and Anna told her she'd personally ensure we took her to court. Rachel wanted to see May, but I refused to let her near me. Anna said we needed to stay away from her for our safety. She apologized, saying she should have noticed her mom's overbearing behavior or made it clearer that my pregnancy wasn't an issue. I told her she always made me feel safe, and none of this was her fault. Meanwhile, Rick was outside talking to Rachel. When we got home a few days later, he told me what they discussed. He told her he was pressing charges and she could go to hell. It was final. She'd never be in May's life or considered her grandma. She endangered me and our unborn child over some imagined slight that had nothing to do with her. He also said the money he and Emma gave her to live on would be cut significantly. Rachel cried, saying she worked her whole life for her kids and didn't deserve this. Rick acknowledged her sacrifices but said that didn't give her the right to control their lives. He'd excused her behavior for years, but this was the last straw. She'd crossed a line, especially since Anna had no issue with my labor happening during her wedding. Rachel claimed she thought Anna wouldn't want me stealing her day. Anna overheard and tore into her. We're definitely taking Rachel to court, but Rick's handling it since I'm focused on our newborn. None of her kids want contact with her now. Anna's cut her off completely, Emma only talks when necessary, and Rick and I are done. I don't think Rachel expected this fallout. Maybe she thought she was doing right by Anna, as twisted as that sounds. I'm not excusing her, but I feel a tiny bit bad. She clearly didn't anticipate losing everyone. I'm wondering if they should try talking to her, but if I mention it to Rick, he'll lose it. He's furious and can't even look at her. I never imagined it'd end like this, but here we are. My take, Anna and Emma are probably right. Rachel's behavior screams some serious mental health issues. I get that she might have felt sidelined with attention shifting to May, but her reaction was beyond unhinged. Locking a woman in labor in a bathroom? That's next level dangerous. Should they still press charges, though? On one hand, her actions were horrific, and she's their mom, so it's complicated. On the other, mental health or not, she endangered lives. I'd be torn. What do you think, court or no court? Drop your thoughts in the comments, and let's see what happened next. Update 1. Reconciliation is off the table forever. Sorry for the delay in updating. I'm a new mom, so I've been busy keeping me and May alive. Good news, May's 8 weeks old in a couple days, and we're all thrilled. Anna and John are absolute saints, helping Rick and me so much. Emma's back at work but calls almost daily. May's the light of our lives, everyone adores her, and our group chats flooded with her photos. We don't talk to Rachel. I convinced Rick not to press charges because we're swamped, and it wouldn't fix anything.
He resisted but agreed since we didn't have the energy.
When we told Rachel last week, she seemed grateful, then showed her true colors.
That night, we woke up at 1 a.m. to loud banging on our door.
I thought it was a break-in, so I hid with May while Rick answered. It was Rachel, acting deranged, screaming to see May and saying we had no right to keep her away. Rick threatened to call the police to get her to leave. She was trying to force her way in.
We told Anna and Emma immediately since her behavior was alarming.
The next day, Rachel sent a chilling message, saying we're awful for not letting her see May and punishing her when her only crime was being a mother. It got more unhinged from there. She rambled about how hard it was raising 3 kids, balancing their needs. She claimed she locked me in to keep May from stealing Anna's spotlight, conveniently ignoring that Anna was fine with my pregnancy overlapping her wedding. I could almost understand that part, but then she admitted something that turned my stomach. She was upset that May's arrival meant she'd lose her central role in her kids' lives. When I announced my pregnancy, she expected Anna to be mad, saying that's what a normal woman would feel.
When we were all happy about both the wedding and pregnancy, it enraged her. She wanted us to be jealous and compete, not united.
When she realized my due date was near the wedding, she hoped Anna would resent us, keeping the focus off May. Instead, everyone was excited about May, and Rachel felt humiliated that an unborn child replaced her as the family's unifying force. I told Rick to block her. She's unhinged and dangerous to May and us.
I've had a headache since reading that message.
I can't believe a woman in her 50s is competing with a 7-week-old. It's insane, and I'm done trying to understand her.
I forwarded the messages to Anna and Emma, who were horrified.
They think she might be having a manic episode, and Emma's flying in to take her for a psych evaluation. I think it's the right call, but I'm out of this. Her behavior's beyond the pale, and I want nothing to do with her.
Update 2. We got a restraining order against Rachel.
She hasn't tried anything else, but we're staying cautious.
Emma took her for an evaluation with a psychologist and psychiatrist.
They diagnosed her with generalized anxiety disorder, nothing else.
No medical reason for her behavior. They suggested therapy, and that was it. Emma's done with her now. She was willing to help if Rachel had a mental illness, but learning it's just her personality? She's out. I get it and agree. I might have felt sympathy and supported Rachel in a few months if she had a disorder, but knowing she's just hateful and malicious? No way. That's why we got the restraining order.
May's safety comes first, and Rachel's proven twice she's a threat, especially since she's openly hostile toward May.
This is probably my last update. I hope I never have to talk about this again. It's been excruciating for our family, and I'm just grateful we're safe now.
My take: I was hoping Rachel had a psychological issue, but turns out it's just her character.
Though, where's the line between a disorder and personality? Psychology's tricky. Some things weren't considered illnesses before but are now. Still, some people are just cruel, and Rachel seems like one. My heart goes out to this family. What do you think about the restraining order and Rachel's diagnosis? Share in the comments. Thanks for watching. Check out our previous videos linked here, subscribe, and catch you next time.